In today's video, I'm going to show you how to teach your dog to come to the sound of a whistle. Teaching the recall with the whistle is pretty simple, but there are a few steps that you need to follow to see the best results. And I'm going to get right into it in this video, and I'm going to show you the steps that I typically use. So you may want to save this video so you can refer back to it. If you follow the steps that I'm going to show you, you should see a dramatic improvement within 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, so it can be really quick if you're practicing the steps. And you don't need to be practicing much each day. Probably 5 to 10 minutes is all you really need. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that you will need is a whistle. You can use pretty much any type of whistle. I recommend using an object whistle rather than, say, using your mouth, because one of the advantages of training your dog to come to a whistle is that anybody in the family or anybody in your household would be able to call the dog just by picking up the whistle and blowing it. This whistle is known as a P-less whistle. So the first step that you're going to be doing is what we would call conditioning the whistle. And so all we need to do is teach the dog that when I blow this, something good is going to happen, and it's going to come from me. You want to be using something really high value to the dog with recall training. So typically with conditioning the whistle, I usually do not use the dog's kibble. So I'll use something higher value such as liver treats, or today I'm going to be using cheese to demonstrate. Let's get started. So what we want the dog to learn is that when I blow this whistle, that means food is going to be provided. Okay? So just got a little piece of cheese that I've tore off here. I typically make 2 loud chirps on the whistle rather than just one. So usually what it sounds like is this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow this twice, and then I'm going to feed. And what you're also going to, what you need to pay attention to is that I'm going to keep this whistle in my mouth, so that I don't want the dog thinking that me picking up the whistle is the sign that the dog's going to get fed. I want the dog to learn to tune in to the sound of the whistle. And I'm going to do several successions right in a row. And I want you also to notice that there are times when I'm blowing the whistle consistently, and then there will be times when I'm putting space in between the whistle blows. So we don't want the whistle to be blown on a beat. So I don't want it to go whistle blow, whistle blow, whistle blow, because then the dog may think that they're just getting fed in a certain time interval. So we want the dog to really learn that it's the sound of the whistle that predicts the food is coming out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this cheese up into a few small pieces, and we would do the first session, okay? And I just dropped one there, don't do that. All right, so here we go. Also notice that I'm going to keep my body nice and still as I blow the whistle. If your dog has a tendency to kind of mug your hand, don't worry about that, or just pull it away a little bit. Also, you notice there that Sonny laid down. I did not blow the whistle as soon as he laid down, because I don't want him thinking that I want him to lay down. All right, so I want him to think that it's not, it doesn't matter what you do here. All that matters is that when you hear the sound of the whistle, that means food is going to be delivered to you. Okay, so that's all you do to begin with. And I want you to do, I would say, maybe 5 to 7 sessions over the next couple days. Right? And it's really important when you're doing these sessions that you're initially practicing inside your home. You don't want the dog to be really distracted by other things in the environment. Okay, so find a nice quiet time, sit down, have some treats on you, and do just what I just showed you. Now, after you've done that for a couple days, then what I want you to do is I want you to put some treats in your pocket. I want you to sit down on your couch. I want you to have the whistle around your neck, and I want you to randomly blow your whistle and see if your dog comes running over to you to receive a food reward. Okay? Once your dog starts doing that consistently, you know that the dog has started to pair the sound of the whistle with something good is going to be provided from you. All right? So see if I can demonstrate here. So I may, normally I would bring Sunny into the room, I would sit down and watch some TV and just ignore him, and then randomly I would blow this whistle, and that's what I'm looking for, is for the dog to come over to me to receive the food reward. Okay? Once you get to this place in the training, you're ready to move on to the next phase. Okay, now we are ready for phase 2, which is teaching the dog to come to us when they hear the sound of the whistle. So in phase 1, you were just conditioning the whistle. So at this point, when you're sitting on the couch in your living room and you blow that whistle, your dog should move over, get excited and move over to you. Now we are going to teach the dog to start coming to us in a different environment. Okay, so I want you to start practicing outside, and you will start off by putting a leash on your dog. Now I have a long line, and this is what I would recommend because it's very easy for you to control the distance between yourself and the dog. But if you don't have a long line right now, you can start off on just a 4 or 6 foot leash, but you do want to progress to a longer leash. If you have a rope laying around, you could use that for now. So to get started, just as before, we blow the whistle and we feed. Okay? Now what you will do with your dog is you will take them out on leash, and you're going to start to just kind of move around, and randomly you're going to blow 2 chirps on the whistle, and you want your dog to come to you, hopefully, and then you will feed them. If your dog does not come to you, you're going to put a little bit of pressure on that leash to help guide them to you and then feed. Okay, so watch how I do this. I'm going to walk around. And you may notice, especially if you have a really food-driven dog, they may kind of hang out with you at first because they're hoping, well, maybe they're going to be giving me food treats. Just ignore them for now. Wait until their attention gets onto something else. Maybe they smell the grass or they're just kind of milling around, and then you're going to blow the whistle. So watch how I do this. Now, with Sunny here, he knows when the video camera is out that we're usually training, so he may be paying attention to me, but I can still get my point across by just ignoring him. You're going to be moving around. Probably your dog is at some point just going to start smelling or sniffing the ground, and that's when you're going to blow the whistle. Just to illustrate my point, what I'm going to do is just toss some food here. There it is, and feed. So notice that time I put a little bit of pressure on the leash to help guide him back to me. So that's what I want you to do in phase 2. You're going to be feeding consistently after every whistle blow in this phase. Anytime your dog does not come to you, you're going to put a little bit of pressure on the leash. Now, in this phase, you still want to be practicing in somewhat of a low distracting environment. So don't go practice with around lots of dogs if your dog is really distracted by dogs. You want it somewhat calm so your dog is able to concentrate and listen to that whistle blow, because we really want to set the dog up for success at this point. Okay, so one more. If I had more time on the video, I would just ignore him for about 5 or 10 minutes. Eventually he would ignore me. But for now, just to show you, I'm gonna toss some food, put pressure on the leash, and get him back to me to feed, okay? So that's what I want you to do in phase 2. So practice that until your dog is coming to you consistently on the whistle. And then you're going to be ready for phase 3. Okay, welcome to phase 3. In phase 3, you will be practicing off leash with your dog. Now, you want to make sure that you are practicing in a safe area until you know that your dog is reliable, okay? So practice in a fenced in yard or a fenced in area if you can. If you don't have access to that, then continue with the long line training until your dog is responding consistently. So at this phase, we're going to be practicing off leash, and I've got 2 of my dogs out here, so you're going to be slowly introducing some scenarios that may be distracting to your dog, whether it be other dogs around or other people. So you're going to be practicing using the whistle to get your dog to come to you. You're going to be feeding, and then you're going to let your dog go back to doing what they were doing beforehand. So that's really important with recall training, is the dog learns that when we call them, the majority of the time something good happens, and then they get to go back to doing whatever they were doing beforehand. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do a few sessions with the whistle. And then I let the dog go back to doing whatever they were doing beforehand, so they can continue to kind of mill about in the yard. I don't want to show them that when I blow the whistle, when you come to me, we're going to go inside if your dog enjoys being outside. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of rile them up a little bit, see if I can get them participating in some play, and show you, see if they come out of play when I blow the whistle. All right, guys, so that's it in a nutshell. One other thing that I will do when I'm practicing with the whistle in phase 3 is I will not feed every time the dog comes to me. So sometimes I may feed 1 piece of cheese, the next time I may feed 4, and then I may have 2 times where I don't feed anything. So I start to really vary the amount of reinforcement. All right, guys, so start to apply these techniques with your dog, and you should start to see a real dramatic improvement in your dog's response to coming to you when you call them. All right, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more dog training videos, and I will see you in another one.